What up traders, what up investors, Ken here from the Dyslexic Investor, and we are looking at AMD. Of course, AMD has been completely on fire. You saw that just this amazing quarter they had just recently, nearly just knocked out of the park, more than out of the park. They're basically flying high here. Really took away from a lot of the Intel negativity and just really just put it in perspective that AMD is the #1 chip maker as of right now, really just coming back from the grave. If you don't know the story, AMD used to be traded at a $2 stock about 5 years ago, and Lisa Su and the company have just literally just killed it and just been outperforming and really doing a lot of R&D and just investing in their company and just trying to make the best components possible, and just really did a fantastic job. So round of applause to them for sure. That being said, AMD is flying still high again due to the overall market right now. Basically, SPYs being down, what is it, about a point and a half, yeah, so about 1.3%. SPYs are currently down here a little before 11 a.m. We can go back to AMD here and we'll look at the overall chart here to kind of give you a better understanding of where we could be going. So initially we thought that 73.19 would be a strong target for after earnings. Of course, we have blown through that. Again, it was a much more, I think it was almost a 2 deviation move on earnings, so that's a pretty large move. We can look at this particular chart here. It's actually almost, it was over 3. So we were already outside of the standard deviation channel, so we just actually went up multiple deviation channels from this. So we are currently well out of these bands, and these bands are basically the 3, 2nd, and 1st deviations, and we are really far extended out here. Normally what we're looking at, we could potentially see kind of have it trade between 80 down to 73 and kind of wait for these moving averages to kind of catch up, or it could come back down. Of course, anything can happen in the market. Come back down to 65 and kind of start getting somewhat reasonable, build some momentum, build a base, and continue going higher. Normally, stocks don't just continue rising up on the 3 deviation channel and being pretty. This is really far extended away from where we're currently looking at here. So looking at potentially to kind of hold a base here and potentially get another kick higher due to some other fantastic news today. We have a lot of huge earnings coming out after the bell. If you haven't seen already, this video is probably going to go live after all the earnings announcements. So we have Amazon, Apple, Google, and of course the Facebook as well going that day. So we can go ahead and just jump to the trade. So the trade that really popped off on my screen was a pretty large options trade at 1034. Basically, someone buying the next year's. So this is June 2021, June 18th. So we're talking, how many days is that way? 323-ish days away from this. And they're buying the $7 call, so that's going to be in the money. They're buying 584 of those contracts at $19.30, so about a little under $2,000 per contract, on the safer side than buying, let's say, the $100 call that far out. That's going to be much more volatile to what the market could be in that premium and that theta. Theta is not really a thing that far out, but it could definitely help if you're buying an underlying stock price that's in the money at any expiration, but giving substantial amount of time, particularly on these options, to kind of see how it plays out. On the same side, we're seeing a lot of other activity here. We're seeing a lot of activity even on that are expiring tomorrow. So again, a lot of heavy interest here on the $75 call, potentially those are well over 1,000, or each of them are 500 contracts a piece, potentially looking for some folks, potentially maybe to get those options to expire in the money for them, and then potentially get assigned those shares, or get executed those shares, so they're able to maybe potentially build a longer term AMD stock movement on that. That being said, let's go back to the chart here. So we're looking at some pretty far outlandish moves here again with the stock price. Our next really upside target is going to be pretty substantially up here at the 2618, which is around $95. Again, anything can happen right now. Looking for potentially to kind of trade sideways here, kind of potentially hold this pattern around 73. Again, if it comes back down to 68 to 65, that's nothing going to be too scared about. Again, the overall market's kind of signaling some frothiness again. I think there's a lot of expectations for the earnings coming out after the close, and then you have President Donald Trump talking about delaying the election this year. It's there's just a lot of stuff that the markets are trying to take in and give a value to. So that's where you kind of see that volatility this morning as well. And so looking for, again, for this trade, since it's in the $70 call strike price, so we can kind of look at that chain itself. So they're buying the $70 call. It's just in a little bit. You can see that the volume here is really spiked up here. Again, there's actually 1,200 of these options have already traded today, so it's pretty substantial. There is that's a lot of activity, honestly, that far out. So there's someone making a substantial bet. You can see here kind of some comparison here. There's not much options activity even going out that far today. We can kind of look also at, let's just say, the March contracts, kind of the same things, not too much going on there. So it's a pretty far, they consider it almost a leap. A leap is when your contracts are almost a year. Actually, it's not a completely a year because it's only 325 days, but I would consider it somewhat of a leap in the sense of it's just really far out, well within a year time frame. And I'm trying to see what the furthest contract's out. Okay, so we have 2022 of January's here, and you can kind of see there's a lot of open interest at that $90 strike price. That $90 strike price again is going to be that initial target potentially. Again, is AMD going to hit $90 in 2 years? Sure, why not? Like, could it come back down to 20? Yeah, without a doubt. Like, that's why it makes these markets. So it's pretty interesting to see on what folks are betting on, potentially seeing. Again, quick summary before we let you go here. We have that, again, the momentum has been super strong here. Again, stocks don't continue to go up, 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 even though some popular belief that stocks just keep on going up. We are looking for a potential kind of a slowdown pattern, maybe a holding, maybe building a base. Hopefully nothing like we saw basically from April, from March, April, May, and like June, and mostly these 3 months here where we just were consolidating for such a long period of time. And AMD has kind of known to do that. So we can look at here in the chart on a, basically, let's actually bring this out even further to a monthly chart. As you can see, this stock used to trade $1.67 back in the summer of 15, and again, from $1.06 to $78 is pretty fantastic. Again, even through the overall tech side of the bubble, even before the 08-09 crash, it was trading around $42 there. So we saw multiple tops there around $41 to $42. Potentially, that kind of lines up where the 21 is here on the monthly. Not too concerned with that. Again, with a huge rocket up like this, we got to be, again, not too concerned because everything is still in a very good directions. Again, on a monthly chart, things can change. Things on a monthly chart will take a lot of time to change because, again, each of these candles that we're looking at are a complete month. So just be very well the understanding of that. Super large move again. With a large move like this, again, we're looking for some consolidation, potentially looking for some trading sideways movement, and just seeing where it goes from there. Again, guys, thank you so much for watching. This is Ken from the Dyslexic Investor. I hope you learned something today. If you did, please hit that like button. If you didn't, you know how to hit the thumbs down. And also looking at some ongoing stuff for some fantastic live streams coming your way. Always enjoying everyone coming out for those. If you're interested in joining the Discord, completely free down below in the description box. Again, thank you so much for watching. This is Ken from the Dyslexic Investor, and I'll catch you guys on the flip side. Peace.